And yes, this morning I have in the studio Mr. Ray Park. Good morning, Ray. How you doing?
Good morning, Adrian. I'm good. How you
Oh,
doing?
awesome. I have another British guy that evens out the challenges in the studio this morning.
I've given up.
Ray, look, you're a British actor. You're a stuntman. You're a martial artist. You're known for playing Darth Maul into Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Toad in X-Men. I thought that was fun, jumping on the walls here, on that.
It was.
That was
Very
good.
Is there a movie you haven't done? Is there a movie you're not in?
I'd love to be part of Batman so Batman can beat me up.
Well, I think the fans would prefer you to be Batman, given what I've read, but that's another story.
I don't think I've got the lips and the jaw for it.
Can I just ask you a quick question? What was your father's favorite, like, sci-fi movie? Like, what did he always come back to watch?
He loves all the old classic movies, the old, Ben-Hur and Samson, but he loves Star Trek and Star Wars, and he was, my first toys as a kid were G.I. Joes or Action Man and Batman.
So is your father still with us?
Yeah.
So how did you call him up and say, hey, I got this call from this guy, George Lucas something, I'm supposed to do this movie, maybe you've heard of it, Star Wars.
He must have jumped through the roof, didn't he?
The funny thing is that because of doing the style of martial arts I did, it wasn't really for money or anything else, it was just really because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I really wanted to get into films, so I knew by continuing doing the style that I was doing, I would hopefully just be able to taste it or get to that point where I want to try and get into live my dreams and be a stunt guy or be an action guy. And when I landed Darth Maul, I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. I wasn't allowed to tell my mum and dad or family or friends. Yeah, but I did tell my mum and dad.
Oh, I bet you did.
Yeah,
I would have done too. Oh, come on. You can't tell anyone. Sometimes I think it's a little bit too much. You can't tell even the fly
That sounds
on the
very
wall.
Lucas-like, though, given my knowledge of Lucasfilm. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, it was good because a lot of we did martial arts and competed. I competed for Great Britain. I was part of the martial art wushu team, and we did it for love. There wasn't. We paid our own way. We paid for our own tracksuits, and we got together and rented out church hall on Saturdays and Sundays, and and we were a bunch of guys that just loved doing wushu, and we wanted to compete for Great Britain, and so it was really like hey, I did it, like that. I remember all those sufferings and all the money you spent on sending me to Malaysia and China, and all the money I borrowed off you, and so it was really like a thank you to my mum and dad, when I landed Darth Maul.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's
Did you tell
awesome.
him that you got to get the drop on Liam Neeson and bust him up a little bit?
Well, I didn't know about that then, but
No.
the first thing my dad said, he goes, "How much money are you getting paid, and where's my money?"
I was going to ask.
Where's my return?
That was on the list of questions. Like, where's my investment plus, et cetera, et cetera. But I think I got to admit, at the time there was probably no bigger for you, your dad, for everyone. There was no bigger news on a film, I think, than the announcement of that production.
Yeah.
Where finally, after 2 decades, we're going to get what everyone was screaming about, which was another installment. And then he turns to you. He's like, look, you're going to not only be the most interesting guy, you're going to be the most action-packed element, and you're going to be the bad guy, basically this generation's Darth Vader. You're hired. I mean, that's kind of I bet you that there was all kinds of people that tried to get that part, just because of the prestige of the franchise. And here he turns to you, and he goes, there must have been something about you where he goes, hey, this is our guy. Now, I was at Warner Brothers for about 10 years in quote-unquote development, misnomer that is, and I've been in those kind of casting discussions, but I guess there was none of that with Lucas. He just went to you and said, this is our guy.
It happened so fast for me. I worked on a movie before that called Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and they came over to the UK, and I was able to get my introduction into movies. I was surrounded by stunt guys and performers in the gymnastics school I was part of, so I always knew that I always had a sort of, a taste of what I wanted to do, and Mortal Kombat gave me an apprenticeship. I learned how to do air rams and wire work. I worked with some really great guys, and that it boosted my confidence. So when I was asked to come in and just talk to Nick Gillard, the stunt coordinator of Phantom Menace, and he was telling me that George is looking for a stunt man who can act, an actor who can do stunts. They want to do the whole thing. He says, look, I heard about you, I heard about your skills, love for you to come and work with me and just work on a test fight. And within that day, I was introduced to everyone in production, and I was like, wait a minute, this is
unusual.
This is unusual because I know that's not the way it happens. And
did you think you were like there to be a stormtrooper or something? Like you thought like you're gonna just fall down here, they're gonna shoot you, or what did you think when they brought you?
I didn't think in a million years that I'm actually going to be or have a part in a movie. I'm actually going to...
Did you think you were being punked at that time when they told you that? Because I would
was that around at that point?
I would have been like, what? You want what?
Yeah, I was like 22, so I was my mindset was, well, no, don't get your hopes up. Don't even get your hopes up to come in and work as part of the stunt team. Just be grateful for coming down, and maybe something will work out, and whatever works out will happen.
I mean, the funny thing now is that looking back, it was a perfect decision. It was one of the strongest decisions probably in the last 15 years of cinema, right? To put that on your shoulders.
I was very lucky. But thinking about it now, I was 22 for George Lucas to say, hey, I want this young guy to be my villain. I didn't think about that at the time. I was just like, okay, this is a chance for me to say to my master, my grandmaster, I did it.
Adrian Paul went out for that part. He was brought in off a Highlander, and then you may be Darth Maul.
Are you just trying to like put us against
I'm
each
sorry,
other?
I'm
Because
sorry.
that's not true. Everybody out there,
That's
that
not
is
what Lucas
not
says.
True.
Jeremy Bullock told me at dinner that he got the
the
part as Boba Fett because the costume fit. And now he says it was the greatest wardrobe fitting of my life because obviously because it fit. He was able to make a career out of it. I mean, literally, he's still collecting on the convention circuit, which is brilliant if you can do it. But I mean, it's funny because like at that day you must be like, wait a minute, you want what? I'm gonna be who? And who are these guys I get to fight? I mean, because those guys were well known. Liam Neeson, Samuel Jackson, McGregor, and you're sitting here and you're the centerpiece.
Yeah, I didn't all come into play. I was a big Star Wars fan too, so I had to.
Do you have your own action figure?
Yeah.
Of course you do. Do you have your own lightsaber?
We all do. Yeah.
I've actually got everyone's lightsaber. I was able to collect it because I love all the different colours. And I've all, the handles. Sam Jackson's got the best lightsaber handle, I think.
Because
it's smooth and it's easier to rotate and play with. It makes sense to hold it in your hand without all the knobbly bits and the things poking out. You can actually do a lot more with.
I thought you were going to say because it says bad motherfucker. Anyway, sorry, I censored myself.
Yes, but you about the beat there nearly.
Well, don't worry. But I mean, honestly, it's a fortunate break for the franchise because you were the highlight of the movie. And like I said, now looking back, it makes perfect sense. But at the time, we've all been in those discussions where you're trying to convince people that what you believe in is right, and that must have been, what a Hall of Fame moment for you.
I was just very lucky. It was just, I think at the time I was just finishing competing. I got back from Malaysia. I was getting tired of competing because of my motivation was moving on to, okay, I want to go to Hong Kong. I want to work with Jackie Chan. I want to learn something out there, and then go to Hollywood. And then when it all happened, I was just this big kid that played a lot of martial art computer games as well as practicing, and all these little dreams and fantasies and visions just came in, just rolled. It just came to one at the time, and just very lucky.
Have you ever sparred with this guy?
Not yet, but I'm scared to.
No, I don't know about that. No, I mean the funny thing was a lot of people always
he's dirty, He's a dirty martial artist.
I have a lot of respect for Adrian.
No, I think people have always wanted us to sort of cross hands.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet in the two careers here. We're gonna have to manufacture.
Well, somebody out there is going to be going, "Oh, that's a great idea."
Oh yeah, they're taking notes.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.